together. So it'll make things easier. Let's see if okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Fantastic. So, like I said, I'm from gish SEIDEN. I'm a manager. I'm also Cal State Northridge alum. I've been in the public accounting for 20 plus years. I've been a CPA for about 15 years, but I've been doing this for a little bit longer. My specialties are trust and estate and gift tax returns, as well as business and individual tax returns. I don't do any audit, but I have in the past, because as I'm sure you guys know, you need to complete at least 500 audit hours in a test services to obtain your license. Which is going to show your experience is completed and you have that designation, A designation assigned to you. So you can do audits. At our firm at Gish, we make sure you get that. So like I said, my focus areas are trust, estate, gift tax returns, business, and individual tax returns. So before, the topic of today is high performance in the workplace. But before we get into that, I want to tell you a little bit more about our firm. Our firm it was established back in 1942, so that makes us almost 80 years, in existence. There are 37 employees approximately, varies one or two, and we have 5 partners. Maureen is our managing partner. Marty is the son of one of the founders, Marty SEIDEN. Stan Arudi, Daryl Gross, and Christy Casper. Christy is the newest addition. Our focus is clients range from companies that have annual revenues of $500,000 to $200 million, and we are located in the Warner Center, Woodland Hills. A little bit more history about our firm. It goes way back to 1942. That's when the firm was founded, like 2 brothers, Errol and George. So it was named Gish and Gish. 42 years later, the firm relocated from Beverly Hills to Sherman Oaks. And then 3 years after that, the firm was renamed because we grew and added more partners. And then after that, we relocated again to Encino. Well, not we, but the firm relocated to Encino. And let's see, 10 years after that, Bob SEIDEN, whose son is here in the picture, the guy in the pink shirt, Marty SEIDEN, he retired, and currently we still have Marty with us. And in 2008, moved to Warner Center, and just recently we moved again across the street. So that's a little bit of history about our firm. So the next slide tells you a little bit about our values. We strongly believe in our vision, mission statement, core values, and strategic objectives. And we revisit it frequently. They give us purpose and help unify us to work as a unit towards a common goal. Our core values, we instill these values in our employees to basically, as you can see, become HIT CPA. So, we do believe in honesty, integrity. We want the staff to continue being innovative and come up with new ways of doing things, being team players, and we value our client relationships. That's why most of our clients have been with us for many, many, many years. We work on employees' personal development and continued learning, and as well as hold them accountable. We hold ourselves accountable and responsible towards clients. Now, as far as strategic objectives, we continue striving to improve, work on continuous improvements in technology, and continued training on the latest, and of course, teamwork. So that's our mission statement, vision, core values, and strategic objectives, which every successful firm should have. A little bit more about us. What sets us apart is that we have partners and managers that are very approachable. Everyone's approachable. We have a family style environment, and we believe in teamwork. We basically, our firm is, there are 37 of us, which makes us ideal size. We're not too big, we're not too small. Everyone at any given point can access anyone else. We can send IMs back and forth. We can, I've worked at many different firms, and my experience has been that the opposite. The partners are too busy to devote time and make you think twice about approaching them. So we don't have that here. The family style environment, as mentioned, it's basically our size enables us to provide for a family-oriented environment. We know each other's spouses, kids. We involve them in different firm events, from Halloween to trips to Vegas. It'd be very difficult to have that at a big four, for instance. So teamwork-based culture, we completely operate as a team. There's no such thing as your or my clients at our firm. They're all firm clients. So we all work together with the common goal to provide our clients with excellent customer service. Majority of the projects are assigned to different staff accountants to work on, and the staff accountants then work closely with supervisors and other accountants in charge, and the managers and partners to get the projects done. So if anybody, by the way, has any questions as I'm going through the presentations, you can just interrupt me, or you can save your questions at the end. Our firm has been known to, we are members of many different organizations. We have been awarded the best place to work, as you can see, 9, 10, 12, 13, 16, 17, and 18. It's many years in a row. So needless to say, I love working where I'm at. It's a fantastic firm to work for. So that's important. You want to consider these things when you decide, to apply at a position at a firm. We also have what we call gish cares, which is a committee we're very proud of because it gives us a chance to give back to the community. Various team members volunteer their time to different charities. Some of the examples are Los Niños de Baja, which we sponsor a few kids to help them with the most basic needs, as well as send them birthday gifts during holidays to help keep their spirit up. Staff volunteer time and provide monetary aid to San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission. That's an organization that provides homeless men, women, children with the most basic necessities like food and shelter, as well as help them get back on their feet by finding them jobs. Children's Hunger Fund is another worthy cause to help provide food for hungry kids across the US and around the world. Now, for Operation Gratitude, we're able to show our appreciation through active, hands-on volunteerism, like putting together care packages, doing collection drives, or letter writing campaigns to say thank you to the members of the military and first responders across the country. We have our annual management summit, which I'm very proud of. I have been in this profession, like I said, 20+ years, and I've never seen anything like it. It basically gives everybody a voice, gives everybody a chance. It's a 2-day event to speak up and communicate with everybody, identify different ways to improve how we do things, and to make the environment a much, a more pleasant and fun environment. And we have fun team building events, which are really something that brings everybody closer. As you can tell, I'm right there, far right corner. So it's a lot of fun. We look forward to it. Fortunately, with COVID, we haven't been able to do much of that. So instead, we were able to transition. So we came up with different ways to make the work environment more fun. As you can see on the slide, we had escape rooms, 100-point challenge connected to the puzzle in the top right corner, quiz breaker, which I really like because you learn so much about your colleagues and win prizes on top of it. The picture in top left shows some of us during a staff meeting discussing serious matters, and then on the bottom right corner, Batman is the same partner wearing a tie on top. That's Marty SEIDEN that I told you earlier. His father was one of the founders. When we're in the office, we have these 15-minute Nerf war sessions. It's across access to unlimited snacks, to name a few. Unfortunately, we had to transition to the virtual version for the time being, but you got to try to keep the work environment fun, because that will contribute to everyone's high performance, which I'll get into. So a few more things about our benefits, just to mention some information on that. I have worked at different firms. None of them paid for 4 paid CPA exam days, for instance. So if you decide to join that firm, that's one thing that our firm does for you. While you're taking the exam, you get paid for those days. You get discounted rate for the Becker CPA review course, and pay for your Cal CPA membership, for the 80 hours of continued education that you need once you become a CPA. But even before that, there are many training courses that you get signed up for. SPIDEL is one of them. It's mandatory, because we believe in continuous training of the staff. We have different tax and audit committees that you can be involved in. You have a say in changing the firm procedures. That's very important. We're very big on that. Another great program new hires have access to is our buddy program. I remember when I first joined the firm, I had my buddy, one of the managers, Allison, that was assigned to me, and she really was instrumental. She helped me a lot. Even though I had already been in the field for 16 years, but it helped a great deal to help me get me up to speed on the gish procedures and how we do things here. So as far as what to expect in the first year, we basically have the new hires or interns work on bookkeeping, year-end accounting, some audit field work, preparing tax return extensions, some compliance work like 1099s, payroll, sales tax, and business and property taxes, and of course, participate in continued education. We are active in many industries. We have clients from firms or individuals that provide professional services like engineers, architects, attorneys, to large auto and motorcycle dealerships, craft breweries, hospitality like entertainment and restaurants, healthcare, doctors, dentists, many law firms, many internet-based businesses, startup businesses, retail and wholesale, to name a few. So at Gish, you'll have a chance to work on clients in many different fields, industries, and gain the experience you need, because we make it our business to really, really get to know the client's business. So having said that, these are some of the services we provide: audits, reviews, compilations. We work on business succession planning to help businesses, basically if they have owners, partners that are working on succession plans to kind of retire and pass it on to the younger partners. We work on QuickBooks. We have QuickBooks professionals. We handle IRS and franchise tax book representations, tax planning. We do a lot of advisory work, so hiring, litigation support, obviously compliance work, and estate and trust, which is my department. As far as Nexia International, what that is that we're a member of Nexia International. Nexia is the 9th largest accounting association in the world. So you can imagine what an amazing network that gives you access to. We're talking about 250 member firms from more than 150 countries, 115 countries. That's a phenomenal pool of knowledge across the globe. Now, Nexia has bankers, attorneys, insurance brokers, wealth advisors, bookkeepers, various other tax advisory services. I personally have worked on a client from Australia and one from Switzerland. They both were referred to us through Nexia. The Swiss business needed help with investment in a new business in California, and we're looking for a firm to guide them through all the licensing and tax requirements. The Australian company needed a firm to do their taxes for the California corporation. So as you can see, neither the Swiss nor the Australian accountants possessed, they had the tax knowledge about the US or California system, and reached out to us, which translated into great customer service because the client doesn't have to take on that daunting task. Now the same goes for us. We had a client that wanted to invest in a business in Asia, and we reached out to Nexia and found them a suitable member located locally to where the business was. Now this next slide is an event we put together called Nexia Day 2019. One of Nexia's core values is basically to be closer to you. So we invited 4 of our valued clients from different industries. These are the 4. And one of them is a restaurant owner, one is a hotel owner, one is a gaming professional, and one is a soccer retail owner. And we spent the afternoon with them to get to know them better. It was very insightful. They shared all kinds of information about their industries. We had a Q&A session to discuss what challenges they were facing and how they were planning on dealing with them, what the future had in store in their corresponding fields. And it was an excellent event. The beauty of it was that the information shared, we could apply it to other clients in the same industries. We have this next part is about time management, which is basically high performance in the workplace. Now, as far as time management is concerned, the dictionary definition of time management is the ability to use one's time effectively or productively, especially at work. Now, there are a lot of distractions, so time management is key to efficient working. Now, as far as how do you define time management when you're at workplace? Now, this could also apply to working remotely, it doesn't matter. So you want to have efficiency, you want to have effectiveness, and you want to have proficiency. You want to be efficient, effective, and professional. This is very important. One without the other won't work. So how do you accomplish that? Well, you want to organize your tasks by planning and scheduling a to-do list. Like when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is I make sure that my tasks are organized. I look at my calendar and I know what exactly I have to do. Sometimes I do it the night before. So a to-do list is very important. You can drop it on your calendar, you can have it on a piece of paper, just have a to-do list so you know what you're going to tackle that day. You got to set your short and long-term goals. If a project is going to take you a week, then you got to plan for it accordingly. And if there's a project that takes you maybe an hour, then don't delay that project until that long project is done. Get it done, get it out, get it to the partner before you let it sit for a week. So that's, again, part of your pre-planning. You got to analyze the tasks. You got to look at the priority. I mean, which ones are we talking about a low priority because the due date is 3 months from now? Or are we talking about a high priority? April 15, is it due April 15? It's due today. You got to get it done. So you got to look at cost benefit analysis before starting. Sometimes you end up spending so much more time on a client, on a much, much smaller client, and it just makes no sense. So it's best for you to either disengage from that client or reevaluate everything and spend less time, because obviously by devoting that much time to a smaller client, you're not really servicing the other clients properly. You want to manage your procrastination and distractions, interruptions. Now, the first part talks about procrastination and distractions. Now, what that is that there are some projects that are somewhat more involved, and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to put that off. It's hard. I'm not going to work on that. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to get to it at some point. Before you know it, it's sitting on your desk for 2-3 weeks. So you don't want to do that. You want to tackle that as soon as you can and avoid interruptions. I get emails all throughout the day. I get IMs, instant messenger, from coworkers, colleagues, all throughout the day. There are so many distractions. I get calls, I get faxes coming through. So what you want to do is you want to try to control that. Like emails, I don't answer them as soon as they pop up. I check every 2 hours. So when I'm working on a project, that's a major distraction. If you want to answer every time an email pops up, you won't get anything done. So you want to manage that. And you want to track your performance, because what happens is that if you don't track your performance, you will lose track of your projects. Let's say you have a project that's going to take 16 hours, and you want to check in with partners and managers for their feedback when you're halfway through to see where you are. Are you spending a lot of time? Are you spinning your wheels? So you want to keep track of that, and you want to check in with the managers and partners. And you always you want to leave a little bit of a cushion for anything that might come up that's unexpected. So those are some of the hints that some of the tools that you want to use to help you stay on top of your project and stay organized. Now, you want to combine activities. That's one thing that I tell people. Try to multitask. If while you're doing something that's not as productive, if you can do something else, go for it, as long as it doesn't affect your efficiency. Delegate, delegate, delegate. That's very important. As a manager, there's no way I can do everything myself. Yes, I could. And, sometimes it's very tempting. Can I do it? Can I do it faster? Because I've been doing it for 20 plus years? Yes, but then I'll have to keep doing it and I'll end up working 90 hours a week. Do I want that? No. I'm going to take some time and teach the person, the junior accountant to do it, and that's it. I'm going to delegate that. So you want to consider delegation as a necessity. You don't want to do it yourself. If you want something done, do it yourself. False. You want to delegate that. You want to learn how to say, to say no, because sometimes you're nice and whatever projects people give you, you just keep saying yes and yes and yes. And before you know it, you have so much on your plate. Now you're the bad guy, because now you can't, get them out the door, the projects, and you're sitting on them, and you go from an A+, A-star employee to someone who's not getting the jobs done, and it's not your fault. You just got loaded too much. By the way, one way to deal with that is that we have a full-time scheduler. That's all she does. She just schedules, and she meets with us on a weekly basis, and she rebalances everyone's work. If I have too much on my plate, she moves some to someone else that's not. There are 37 of us. It's not, it's not easy for us to know what everyone does at any given point. So that's what she does. So it's an amazing, amazing individual to have on board, because it really, really contributes towards your efficiency. Now, as far as managing expectations, again, it's important to know what you got on your plate and how much more you can handle. You got to try to work smarter, not harder. So, if there's a table that has, 50 numbers on it that, 45 of them are identical, you want to just multiply that across. You don't sit there and add it all up. So, simple things like that. And, you could be busy, but not effective. So you don't want that. Now, some tips and tricks to become more a high performance in the workplace, so to say. Now, as far as writing things down, very helpful. Some people, we have one of the partners that loves writing things on a notepad. That's fine. He has a big notepad. He keeps track of it that way. I like to use my electronic notepad on my calendar. You want to use a calendar to schedule events, meetings. I mean, I can't function without my calendar. If I didn't have Outlook, I would be missing out appointments. I wouldn't get anything done, because that's how my days start. That's how my week starts. I look and see what I have scheduled for that week. You want to handle tasks at once. So if a task is given to you, don't pick it up and put it down. Pick it up, put it down. That's going to take 5-10 times longer to do. You want to pick it up, tackle it, get it done, get it out the door. Don't follow Sally. I'm sure you guys know what that is, same as last year. So sometimes when you look at last year's paperwork, you want to follow the exact same way it was done, even if it was inefficient, but you want to come up with better ways of doing things, more efficient ways of doing things. You want to complete difficult assignments before the end of the day. If you have a difficult assignment, don't leave it for the last minute because you're tired. You want to tackle that first thing in the morning. That's going back to prioritizing your day, prioritizing your week, prioritizing your schedule. You want to do it first thing in the morning. Leave the easy tasks towards the end because your brain's tired and you can handle those. It's actually a break for your brain. You want to specify availability when leaving voicemail. So when you leave someone a voicemail, this is for junior accountants, when you first join a firm and you want to leave someone a voicemail, let them know when you're available so when they call you back, they can reach you. Otherwise, they'll call you at lunch or super early in the morning or late at night. And be very clear when communicating. Communication is a must in our field. If you're not a clear communicator, you'll have a tough time. Now, as far as, let me go to the next slide. Okay, so how to access feedback. Now, as far as feedback is concerned, how to accept feedback, I apologize. You want to ask for feedback. You want to take initiative. You want to do it periodically and consistently. So if you're a new accountant, junior accountant, you want to know how you're doing. So talk to, well, we have a buddy system, we have a mentor, and we have a coach. So what you can do is you can go to your mentor or coach and ask them how you're doing, either monthly or quarterly, to get that feedback so you know how to improve and what areas you need improvements and what things are you doing, great. Obviously you want to do it as time permits. So you don't want to do it too frequently. You want to acknowledge the tax season and everyone's schedule. And whether it's formal or informal, you want to have it. Maybe it's a cup of coffee, 20 minutes. Go grab a cup of coffee and talk to your mentor, to your coach. We have that at our firm. I find it helpful. I am a mentor for a couple of employees, and I have mentored, someone that mentors me. So it's we're always learning. You want to listen and listen carefully. You want to pay attention to detail. That's one thing in our profession that's always, and I'm sure in all professions, but especially in accounting, if you don't pay attention to detail, you're not going to survive our field. So it's important. I'm sure all you guys do. You want to take notes like we talked about. When somebody speaks, you want to give your undivided attention, very important. And when somebody sends you an email or a text or an IM, you want to acknowledge the message. So you don't want them to sit there wondering if you got it or what you're doing about it. First listen, don't interrupt, and then respond appropriately. I know some of these are very basic, but believe me, they're very powerful and people need to be reminded of that time and time again. I sometimes find myself not doing that. So you want to try to understand and put yourself in the shoes of your manager and partner, see how they would look at it. That always helps and adds insight. As far as questions, you want to plan them ahead of time. You want to know your purpose and ask leading questions. How would I do this? This is very important. Sometimes when you have a job interview, some people are so unprepared. You have to do your homework. You want to be ready. When you meet with a client, you've got to look up the client's background, industry, see what they do, take a look at their tax returns ahead of time, educate yourself. You want to be ready. You want to be prepared. You don't want to just get in a meeting unprepared. And of course, when somebody speaks, don't interrupt them. And you definitely want to handle your emotions. You go in and leave a meeting, try to do it with a positive attitude. Don't get defensive. Don't take it personally. It's all constructive criticism. When you have a employee review meeting, it's all constructive because we just want you to get better. So those are the things that, and it's not just you, it's at all levels. Partners have room to improve. Everybody does. So you want to have a plan, like we talked about, and you want to track your progress, like we said. So first thing in the morning or beginning of the week, plan your day, plan your week. And as you work on projects, you want to track your progress so you see where you are, so you don't lose track. And you go back to your manager, partner, and you follow up, whether it's the client or whether it's a partner or manager. You definitely always want to follow up. Now, as far as we have this GISH University, I'm very, very proud of. June 17 to June 18, it's a 2-day university. It gives you a chance to really get to know us, get to know our culture. You meet with partners, managers, other junior accountants, yeah, and you'll find out about opportunities that you'll have with us. This is something that most of you are probably aware of, and it's probably posted on the campus, but I highly encourage, we have many people that have already applied. I encourage you to go to our website, www.gishseiden.com/gish university, and apply if you're eligible. Now, the requirements are, obviously you have to be an accounting major, but also business administration with a concentration in accounting, and economics and accounting, or information systems, IT. Those are all majors that are acceptable, and your GPA overall, as well as accounting, your major should be 3.0 or higher. And if you're a sophomore or junior standing as of summer of 2021, you are eligible to participate. So again, it's a 2-day event. It teaches you so much about the industry, about the profession, and about our firm. We have hands-on exercises. This year it's all online, it's all remote, virtual, but every year we do it. Hopefully next year it'll be in person, but definitely you guys should go online and apply if you meet the requirement. Now we have, there's one more thing about organization and being high performance that I wanted to mention, and that's basically, we call them re-engineering meetings. When a project is assigned to someone, they basically, before they start working on it, they meet with the partner or manager in charge, and we call it re-engineering. It basically gives you a chance to discuss the project in detail. So from the get-go, you know exactly what you're getting yourself into, and you're not gonna go on, you're not gonna basically run with the project and later on, halfway into it, find out that you were doing it wrong. So it's, the partners know the client, and the managers most of the time know the client very well. So when you meet with them, they'll share that insight. So it's very helpful. We call them re-engineering meetings. What they are they are introductory meetings to talk about the project at hand. So they're very helpful. So I definitely contribute that aspect of it to being high performance in the workplace, because that's one of the tools we utilize, and it's proven very, very helpful. Now there's a video that there's a YouTube video that about our firm. We have a little bit of time, so I'm going to play it, and hopefully I'll be able to, you guys will be able to hear it. So let me take a look as far as the sound. Let's see, how do I go back to the other screen? I'm gonna play it. You guys tell me if you can hear it. Jessica, can you hear it? We're really excited.
Yes.
Right.
2 hours to get here this morning.
2 hours away.
This is Daryl Gross. He's one of our partners.
Anyway, before we get started, I would like to take you on a tour of the office. Does that sound good? Sure. Cool. That's good. One of the things we look forward to is our internship program. What we do every year is bring in recent grads, or soon to be recent grads, let them come in for a couple months to see what the real world work environment is like. You know, our interns are training right in here. Let's pop in and say hi.
Knees on the floor. Elbows in. Faster, faster. 2 at a time. Let's go. Elbows in. Faster, faster. Don't drop on the floor. Cindy's gonna kill me.
That's not true, by the way.
Just take on service very seriously. Finally, you serve a smaller, mid-sized business owners, that means your business, personal, and everything in between. It's leads to a very close relationship. What do you mean by that? Well, I think it's better if I show you. I hear Sam on the phone with the client right now. Let's listen to what they're talking about.
I'm sure about this. Listen, Josh, I understand this income is under the threshold. Yeah, I understand you live with you the whole year, but you have to understand the IRS doesn't care that you love them more than your children. Yeah, I got the video. I'm looking at it right now. Josh, it doesn't matter what you trust in. The IRS is not going to let you take it as a dependent.
All right, let's let Sam handle this. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I do. It's a very well-established company. How long have you been in business?
Well, we have been in business for 75 years. We're really excited about that. Actually, let me introduce you to one of our founding partners. Yeah. And this is one of our junior accountants, Mark.
Wow. So you're telling me how it's been 75 years.
Yeah, she takes really good care of herself. I think it's not all the word magic.
And Mark, you're telling me he's just when it comes to moving back?
Yeah, and he's about 30. I mean, he works long hours. He has a long commute, and it looks like it's really taking his toll on him.
Hello, I can hear you.
Oh, you're doing a great job, Marty. Let me tell you a little bit about our culture. We have our after-tax season party in Vegas, our monthly tiered lunches, and of course, Nerf Wars. Which reminds me, our managing partner wanted to decide to, meet you. So let's stop with this.
We do have Nerf wars.
Good shot. To be honest, I don't know. I haven't shot over 6 years.
See down here.
Here, take this. Thanks. Good
That's
job.
all.
So that's
Yeah, you don't want to get on her bad side. It's okay. All the money from the swear jar goes to charity. Okay. If you have any questions, remember my door's always open 2 weeks. Don't forget, visit us at gish.com. Follow us at Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
There you have it. So, all right. Are there any questions about any of this? Hey, does anyone have any questions about our firm, about how to be more productive? Be a high-performing person on whether it's at work or school, because that's all I have to present. I'm available. You have our information, and again, I would highly recommend for you guys to look into joining our applying for our Gish University. And if you you don't need to send me your resume, you can just apply on this website and submit your information. And John, we will contact you. He's our full-time marketing director, and he will be in touch with you. Okay, it sounds like there are no questions, and if there are no questions,
I believe one of our members, Brianna, raised her hand.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Hi. So my question was, going back to the slide where you kind of talked about, I guess not taking in so much and like politely declining some of the work you need to do because, you want to be a good performer, especially like if you're starting out. How do you politely say like, this is too much for my plate? If you're just starting out, you don't want to make any bad impressions, but you also don't want to be so overwhelmed that you make a mistake because you're taking on so much, I guess.
Right. Well, in our firm, we don't have that issue because let's say a partner wants to give a project to you to work on, and it's a pretty good sized project. The communication is all done through the scheduler. Like I said, we have a full-time scheduler and she handles that. So on a weekly basis, when we meet with the scheduler, she looks at our schedule, each of us, and she basically evaluates whether you can take on anything new. So that's how it's done. It kind of takes the awkwardness out of it. You don't have to confront the manager or a partner and tell them, you know what, this is enough. I can't do anymore, because our full-time schedule is handling all of that, because she meets with partners. And this is why I love where I'm at, because we don't get burned out, because everything's kind of balanced out every week. So that's a huge, huge thing. I've never seen it anywhere, to have a full-time scheduler that just, whose job is just that, to make sure that, Brianna doesn't get too much work. So that's how we handle it. I don't know how other firms do it, but before that, you're right. It would be a lot of, confrontation, and how do I tell them no? It's hard. So yeah. So come work for our firm. You won't have that issue.
Thank you. I'll think about it.
Sure. Any other questions from anyone else? So if there are no questions, thank you again for having me and allowing me to speak about our firm, introduce our firm, and talk about high performance in workplace. And I hope that it was beneficial. You guys learned something. And again, don't forget to apply for our Gish University. We already have almost all the spots filled, I'm not gonna lie, but there are room to take on at least 5 more people. So if you guys are interested and are, meet the requirements, by all means, please reach out.
Thank you, Sargis, for presenting. Are you willing to share your email address with our attendees today in case they have any more questions?
Sure, I can put it here. My email address is I just sent it in chat. It's sisavi@gish.com. My first initial, last name, and then the firm.
Thank you, Sargis. Before you leave, I'm gonna read a few announcements and then we're gonna get ready to take our pictures. So